Hey everybody, I am Artosis, and welcome to just a replay that I wanted to cast. In fact, I'll be casting a little bit more nowadays on my YouTube channel. I haven't really updated in a while. But before I get into that, let me introduce our players as you see them typing and named up at the top. Up here at the top right of Daybreak, we have the Protoss player LiquidHerO. And down here in the bottom left, of course, we have the GammaBears player Sen. This is from the Hero Replay Pack. I decided, hey, you know what? I haven't casted much all that much recently. Well, I guess I did GSL all week last week, but I felt like casting some games, and I've been wanting to put out some more content, and since I've had a hard time finding time to do live streams and stuff like that, I figured, hey, why not use that YouTube channel? So there you go, and if you enjoy this, please let me know. And if I'm doing things like wiggling the screen too much and too quickly, I'd like to know that too. I don't really do a whole lot of single commentaries, by myself where I have to observe and stuff. So yeah, I'd like to hear anything about that. And of course, follow me on YouTube. Give me a subscribe at Artosis TV. So anyways, the map is Daybreak. Hero is opening up with what looks like a Forge Fast expansion. Scouting rather quickly as well. You have to be careful and look for that spawning pool. Sen already sent his drone out to do a little bit of scouting as well. And, let me talk a little bit about these two players. They're actually two of my absolute favorite players. I just had to do this game as soon as I started looking at the replay pack. Hero is one of the most creative and badass Protosses in the world. He just got a round of 4 in the GSL last season. Unfortunately, he fell out this season really early. And oh my god, hold on. Sen snuck a quick offensive hatchery. Now notice Hero pulling down these probes. You might be wondering, why is he doing this? Well, it's because if this hatchery does get up, then he might be able to make a queen or even some units. And if you make some units behind here and then try to rush up your opponent's ramp or something, you might be able to do a lot of damage. And if the queen gets out and lays a creep tumor, the Protoss has to make a ton of cannons to push it away. The expansion will be late, and you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And even if none of that works, even if you see that, well, the hatchery, isn't going to make it, the queen isn't going to make it, you can just cancel it at the last second, and you only lost 75% of its cost and the drone. And you delayed this Nexus for so long, so this is a great move by Sen, a very aggressive move, and we'll have to see how this goes. Hero, he's showing how scared he is by having 4 probes down here the whole time. Notice he's still producing a lot of probes. That's exactly the way he wants to do it. And in fact, he's blocked the hatchery of Sen, but oh, Sen took another base anyways. He's going to let this finish, but it looks like this is not going to do a whole lot. Now, why did Sen let this finish? I think he just let this finish to make sure the creep was there for a very long time and just gave maximum annoyance to Hero. Now Hero, he doesn't want to lose any of these, and notice Sen trying to micro those broodlings, and he almost got a probe. That would have been great if he had gotten a probe or two, but Hero way too quick for him this time. Very good move, targeting down these eggs, does not want to let any Zerglings get out. Looks like a couple will, but probably not do much more than that. Of course, this creep going to block everything for a little bit. Sen going up to 3 bases, 1 here and 1 here. That's pretty standard for PvZ. Now, normally what you see, though, is a base here instead of up here. This is a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more out there in the front, a little bit easier for Protoss to attack. But if you can successfully hold this, that gives you a very easy 4th base to take. So Hero's going to have to be cognizant of that and figure out what he wants to do in response. Is he going to try to attack early? Is he going to take a quicker expansion? Well, I just don't know yet. We're going to have to wait and see. Sen's still getting some good scouting information from this. And let's see. The first Stalker, of course, popping out. That's a very popular choice right now against Zergs that go for 3 bases to get that very quick Stalker. Notice there's no gas, so of course the Zerglings aren't going to do anything against a quick Stalker like that. He has the same movement speed, so he can run away back to the cannon if he seems like he's going to be overwhelmed. And of course he can chase away Overlords, sometimes kill them, sometimes just stop them from scouting too much. So here right now, showing what type of tech he wants to go for, the Twilight Council. And I gotta wonder what this is for. He's not started +1 weapons yet. And since he hasn't started +1 weapons yet, that makes me think it's going to be for Dark Templars. Normally if you're going to go for like some sort of Blink Rush, then you're going to want to have +1 already on the way so you can get +2 with that to really deal maximum damage. But he is a bit low on gas to actually get a Dark Shrine as this is ending. But we'll have to wait and see in a second here. You can just wait and bank that up. Now, back at Sen's base, we have him just starting gas. Very high economy Zerg going on here. Of course, a couple Stalkers out here. Notice they are harassing the Zerglings quite a bit. These Zerglings have to be on creep to have a quicker move speed than the Stalkers to actually catch them. Of course, the Queen with that new range upgrade going to help out a little bit as well. Not sure that Hero's going to do a ton of damage, but any little damage you can do in a game like StarCraft is going to help you out immensely. And notice he is taking out a lot of Zerglings, and that's worth some Stalker health to just down that amount. Nice micro there by Hero, and in fact, oh, look at this. It is going to be a Dark Shrine, as well as a few more gateways coming up. Finally, +1 has been started. But, of course, it was more important to get out that Dark Shrine very quickly. Now, it looks like, oh, he did lose one of those Stalkers. A little bit sloppy by Hero, but, you know, it happens. And one thing that Hero's doing really, really well here is while he's going for the Dark Shrine, he's trying to keep pressure on. And keeping pressure on will do things like force them to make some extra Zerglings and keep their mind occupied on the harassment that's happening. And when you keep their mind occupied, it's going to be easier to send over Dark Templars and, you know, maybe get lucky with them forgetting to make, you know, whether it's an Overseer or a Spore Crawler or something to actually detect those Dark Templars. So that proxy pylon has been found, and that's going to prevent a close warp in. Here's going to actually have to warp in his Dark Templars at home and walk them across the map. That's going to save a lot of time for Sen. He does have some spores on the way. Right there is one that should be up in time. And here's another one, but there's nothing here to defend. So if the Dark Templars run right past without being seen, Hero may, I mean, Sen might be in trouble, but no, he's making another one in his main base. Very smart. He actually knows exactly what's going on, or at least he suspects it. He hasn't scouted the Dark Shrine, as we see from his vision there. But you know what? He's a really good Zerg player, so he knows that this is a possible timing for Dark Templars. Now he's starting to do a little bit of harassment. Of course, DTs do one-shot drones. He's already killed 4. Oh, loses it though. Now here comes in the next one. Going to run into some roaches, and it will get out for now. So those actually weren't that effective by Hero. Now he is taking another base, but you know, with such ineffective Dark Templars, he's going to be down in supply a bit. Notice that Sen is already going up in supply, 93 against 75 right now. And Hero spent a lot of money actually getting those Dark Templars out. So it's going to be just a little bit scary. Oh, look at that beautiful wall in right there, stopping these Zerglings from doing their damage. The Stalker saw him run by, but now he's going to die for his scouting. Wait a minute. Maybe no, he's not. Yes, he is. All right. I thought it was going to be crazy for a second there. Some good building placement so far by Hero here. Let's see what else he's up to. Of course, getting Blink, not surprised by that. Getting that +2 weapons as well. You really want to keep upgrades high on your Stalkers when you're going to be using Blink with them. Sorry, in the meantime, Sen going for his 4th base. Also looks like he's going to be teching up into Spire. Now, where is that Spire actually? He's hiding that Spire on me right now. There it is. Alright, so the Spire is an interesting choice here because he knows his opponent already has Dark Templar tech. And while Dark Templars by themselves aren't any good against Mutas, of course that means you already have the Twilight Council, which means you can get a lot of plus weapons and armor upgrades, which both are very good against Mutalisks. Also you can get Blink, which is very good against Mutalisks. So the Spire doesn't really lend itself completely to battling against someone who opened Dark Templars. So we're going to have to see what Sen wants to do with it. You might be saying, you know what, because of that, that's like a double fake, where, you know, Hero won't really be thinking I'm going to go Mutas. Let's see if he's actually scouted it yet. No, he has no idea about that Spire incoming, so it could catch him off guard. We don't see any anti-air here, no cannons, no Stalkers warped in, and during this, Sen, of course, taking digital base. Look at that, 14 Mutas on the way. And those 14 Mutas can do a lot of damage before Hero can actually respond correctly. These bases are not covered against Mutalisk tech right now, but Hero is getting a Templar Archives, and if Sen stays on Mutas for a long time, that could hurt him. Oh, but the Templar Archive location, that's something that Mutas might be able to get rid of. Now, we do have Hero walking across the map. This is an army that can be weak to Mass, Speedling, and Mutalisk as well. It's got a lot of sentries in it, which are good against Zerglings, but the Mutas kill sentries oh so quickly. Now let's see where these Mutas are headed off to. Looks like they're going to go straight to the main base. A good choice indeed. Hero going to be way out of position for this. Oh no, look at this. He's warped in a lot of Stalkers, And he's going to be somewhat ready for these at least. And in fact, that +2 and Blink, Sen does not want to engage that yet, but he's making a lot more mutas right now. Psystorm is on the way. Hero's timings here just absolutely beautiful, even though it's looking like, you know, Sen may have caught him off guard. No, Hero has everything he needs ready, and in fact, more and more stalkers coming up, going after these mutas. The mutas having to fly away, and look at that, picking off a few free ones. That's always huge. The mutas flock, you don't want to lose any if that's possible. Now the Ling's running up, but they are a little bit afraid of these High Templars. Now they don't have Psystorm yet, forcing an Archon Morph. And a nice hold position by these Zerglings, knowing that if they just go on an attacking rampage, the cannons will kill them off because of the artificial intelligence of those Zerglings there. Now Hero trying to take the 4th base, playing a nice passive game, waiting for his Psystorm, knowing that if he moves out now, then the Zergling Mutalisk army can overtake him. It looks like those Sen getting ready to go into Infestors a little bit, also getting his Baneling nest, and Banelings will be helpful, except against Psystorm. If you hit a few good force fields against the Banelings, and then Psystorm, they're all going to die. Now we have Sen attacking in here towards the main base, a lot of Stalkers being morphed in, and, well, they look like they're just going to overcome for now, but more Stalkers blinking up, and that's why Blink is so good against mutas. Stalkers can ignore a lot of the terrain and actually get up to defend, and Sen's trading a lot of mutas for these Stalkers right now. Some beautiful blinks by Hero. And Hero actually going to minimize the damage done by these mutas, very surprisingly. Really great handling there by Hero. Now Sen's got to be careful with the rest of his army during this. The Zerglings and Banelings can be very cost inefficient, especially when you have a lot of Sentries and Archons. And since he lost so many of his mutas, it's going to be very hard to actually target down all the Sentries before they die. And as long as you have Sentries out, Lings and Banelings aren't all that scary, except, well, of course, if they're falling from the sky or something like that. So we do have mutas coming back over into this main base, Sen keeping up this harassment, reducing the stalker count over and over and over. Don't forget, though, the mutas are very expensive. In the meantime, he's making a ton of Lings and Banelings over here. He wants to draw as many units up here as possible before doing an attack onto the 4th base of Hero, and it looks like he's getting ready. A lot more Banelings coming, but he doesn't actually have Baneling speed yet. This is making me a little bit nervous for Sen. Running all these Zerglings around, he's going for a nice Psystorm's going off, and that Archon absorbing a ton of hits. The Muta's coming in here as well and being stormed. Look at that. He has cleaned up most everything for Hero down here. Warping a lot more Stalkers. He does have a lot of cannons as well, and uh-oh, you don't want to hit the Immortals. But in fact, they're going for the probes right now. And the Banelings not actually ending up being all that effective, but do in fact take out a lot of the cannons. Uh-oh, though, a lot of Stalkers coming down, and the Mutalisk count is going to be basically reset. Let's look at this. Oh, only 5 mutas left. They're almost not worth making anymore. In fact, I would say don't make any more mutas, Sen, if you want to be able to take this game. And in fact, he's not yet. Just making Lings and Banelings, getting that important Baneling speed as well. But as Hero makes some more Sentries, which is such a smart move, and some High Templars, he's going to be all right against this. We'll have to see if he can micro well. Of course, Blink works pretty well. It helps you spread against those Banelings very quickly. We have Infestors on the way as well as a Hive. Sen mining ridiculous amounts, still keeping up anti-DT tech all over the place. Very nice moves. And it looks like it's time for Hero to, thinking he's going to put on some aggression, but in the meantime, Sen going to run around with a ton of Zerglings. Uh-oh, this Psystorm going to be ready very soon, though. Notice he warps in the Zalts in front of the High Templar to keep it alive. Beautiful move, beautiful warp in, and a nice Psystorm going down. His Stalkers coming in from the north, and it looks like he will save this Nexus from going down. In the meantime, a lot of Banes coming to the side. Baneling speed is almost done, and they're going to go after this pylon and go into the probe line. Oh! And doesn't quite kill as many probes as he wanted, but still, Sen keeping the damage on, keeping the pressure on, and keeping Hero over on this side of the map. Now let's take a look. Ooh, he still has a good amount of larvae at 29. I was getting worried that maybe he had missed some injects, but Sen is known as a macro master. This guy can produce oh so much. And let's take a look. What else does he have going on? That Hive has finished. No Greater Spire going yet. No Ultralisk Cavern that I can see anywhere. Nor in the production tab. And an Ultralisk Cavern could come in quite handy. They're pretty good against Psystorm, Stalkers, and Sentries. Oh! beautiful feedbacks there as he tries to come up with these infestors, and a lot of these lings, in fact, all these lings should be going down. Now, we do have an Ultralisk Cavern on the way, 8 more infestors as well. He has a couple fungal growths saved up and some spines, but not all in the greatest position to deal with this. One fungal does go down. In fact, another infestor was sniped, so that's it for his fungals for now. Bringing the last of his mutas. These won't do anything except soak up a little bit of damage, though. They just don't have the upgrades he needs right now. Now, as these 8 more infestors come out with all these lings, it is going to help, but uh-oh. With this Archon and the Zealots in there, they're going to do so well against these Zerglings. A ton of lings coming in, though. And the Muta's coming up as well. This Archon dealing huge amounts of damage. It had a ton of kills. And the Spine Crawlers have been readjusted, so Sen has done a great job here in actually holding Hero back. It looked like Hero could have done a lot of damage there, but now with Ultralisks on the way, a good number of Infestors, and great upgrades. Look at this. He's got 2-2 already with +3 Carapace, Chitinous Plating, and the Adrenal Glands on the way, so his ground army going to be insane. In the meantime, Hero, he's got +3 attack, +1 armor with +2 armor on the way, so still really good himself, but I feel like the unit composition of Sen is just going to do so well against heroes. Hero moving up here towards another base. This does have a macro hatchery at it, so this area very important. A lot of minerals still left here as well, as he was only focusing on gas a little bit earlier. Nice blink up, going to snipe the Queen and take out some of the static defense as well. More and more units coming. Notice he's switching over heavily into Archons. High Templars, they're really good, basically against everything Zerg, but Archons a lot of times are going to give you more bang for your buck against this feared Ultralisk. The Ultras, just, I mean, they have so many hit points, man. The Psystorm doesn't really do that much to them, whereas an Archon sits there, takes a beating. Look at that. With +3 attack, it does 47 damage against those Ultras, so doesn't take all that long to kill an Ultra with them. So here we go, the Ultras coming up, and they don't deal damage bonus to the Archon, so he's got to be careful about that. He wants to actually engage Stalkers with them, and here we're doing a great job taking this out. Sen, I think, at this point realizes that he might have been supposed to counterattack the 4th base of Hero. You know, running up here, losing an Ultra and still losing the base, not the best usage of time and resources with these Ultras. But if he had moved across the map and killed a base off and done kind of a tit-for-tat situation, that would have been really nice for Sen. So right now, he's kind of in some trouble. You know, he's been in a good spot for most of the game, with those 5 bases especially, but now on 4 bases against 4 bases, Hero's going to have a slight lead, and he's catching up in supply very quickly. Here we go, though. Some nice fungal growths going off, but again, those Archons being in the front take a ton of damage from these Ultras. Even some Storms are going to go down, and oh, you don't want Banelings hitting the Archons either. Just really strong against that unit composition. Now he's going to start moving in. Another nice Storm going off. Just damaging him where he can and when he can. Right now, the bank of Sen is getting pretty low. We do see some nice tech coming out of here. He's getting that +3 ground armor. He's getting Charge for Zealots. He's getting the Warp Prism. And when you put Charge and Warp Prism together for Hero, beautiful things do occur. And of course, the Stargate as well. That could definitely be for Mothership. We'll have to see if he wants any Void Rays or Carriers out of it. And here we go, another big attack, but there are too many Archons here. It's going to be so hard to actually kill these off. Look at that beautiful micro by Hero pulling back, forcing him into so many Storms, throwing down Infested Terrans as well to help deal with everything. But it just doesn't look like it'll be enough. Hero has enough to hold this Nexus. In fact, the Nexus taking no damage. A ton of Zealots coming down as well. Very cost inefficient there for Sen, but I did like the idea of throwing down some Infested Terrans. They do reasonably well against the Immortals that we were seeing, as well as the Archons. But Sen lost so much there. In fact, I mean, it's hard to see him winning from this spot right here. Especially with Hero taking this additional base, bringing him up to 5. You know, he's still mining up plenty of minerals, really. His main is empty, but nothing else, really. Sen, in the meantime, still mining similar amounts. Oh, but actually even less because he's mined out this front base because he took it so early. So it's a hard spot right now. And look at this, Hero being so cost-efficient, grabbing everything there, and Sen trying to chase it down. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Doesn't really have the energy to take it out either after using all those Infested Terrans. So this is going to be a problem that Sen has to deal with. Whether he puts up a lot of spines, maybe gets a few more mutas out to chase it with, something like that. In the meantime, we do have Neural Parasite on the way, and Neural Parasite is going to be really useful on any of these Archons, that's for sure. If he can grab a few of these in the battle, let's say that he grabs 3 of them. The whole battle can turn if he can keep those 3 Infestors alive, because the 3 Archons, just for a little bit on his side, are going to help clean up the Zealots in no time, help clean up the other Archons, and by then, you know, he's going to be in such a good position with the rest of his army that Neural Parasite will be worth it. But if the Neural Parasites go off, and then the Infestors die real quick, and Hero gets the Archons back, Sen is going to be in a lot of trouble. So, oh my god, we have to take a look at this. 17 Infestors, 7 Ultras, 9 Lings. That's a wild army. We have more Ultras and some Banes on the way as well. He's going to have to knurl a lot. I think his plan is actually to knurl everything good here, Immortals and Archons, and then fungal as much as possible. We'll see if that actually ends up working, because the actual army that he has here is not going to be any good against this army. I mean, it's almost all Ultras, and all this stuff kind of will shred that. Now, Sen's done a good job dealing with that War Prism for now. We do have a Fleet Beacon on the way for Hero. Where is that Fleet Beacon? There it is. And that's going to allow him to get the Mothership. Obviously a great unit late game against Zerg with those Vortexes. And, oh, he actually ends up killing that spawning pool. And this is what Hero does, man. This is one of the reasons why he's so great. The multi-pronged harassment this guy can put off is absolutely astounding. In fact, warping war units the second his opponent leaves, drawing him right back in. Oh my god, and throwing down some High Templars to feedback as much as possible. Looks like that didn't turn out to be the best thing. But in fact, he's going to warp in more and try to... Wow, that's insane. He actually just warped in like 7 High Templars just for feedbacks. But in the meantime, Hero, because of drawing his army up there, will re-hit this base. And this is going to leave Sen with barely anything mining. Great diversion, such a great diversion. I didn't catch it till the last second, being the observer here. And, you know, just for that low cost, Sen out of position, now doesn't mine here, barely has any minerals left. Has a few over here, not a whole lot though. Of course, his main is empty and under attack once again. This is going to force Sen into a confrontation. And here we go. He's going for it. He's trying for some Neuros. He grabs 3 of them. Nice grabs right there. Those are really helping out a lot right now. Some nice Side Storms, though, going off. And look at that. He's going to Side Storm those away so that he can actually get his Archons back. And as those Archons come back, he's going to clean up the rest of Sen's army. But Sen had a big bank. Even though he's barely mining, he's making 14 more Ultras. The problem is, these are going to heal, man. And Sen knows it. A GG comes from Sen. And guys, thanks for watching. And that's it.